Hello, I'm Joe Walensky, and I'm talking with some of the speakers who will be at our ConveyUX conference. And today I'm with Mike Mace, who's a mobile strategist at a very familiar organization, usertesting.com. Hi, Mike, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Everything's going okay. Where are you talking to us from today?
Lovely Mountain View, California, which is sunny today and rainy yesterday.
All right, well, I'm in Seattle, and it was rainy yesterday and sunny today. Well, we wanted to find out a little bit about the session that you're going to talk about in Seattle in February. So, your topic title: the four most common mistakes in the design of mobile apps and websites. So, why don't you give us a little nickel tour of what you're going to talk about?
Well, you know what user testing does is video tests of users. So you get to see them actually working with mobile apps or mobile websites and find out where they get stuck. When I joined the company, which is about 9 months ago, the first thing I did was I went to our big archive of thousands of mobile tests and I said, "Oh, good. Now I can find out where everybody's getting stuck in applications and see what trends there are." And what we found was there were four areas where people tended to get stuck the most often, or maybe where kind of the baggage of coming out of a web design world tends to mislead people when they try to do mobile stuff. And by web, I mean PC web, the world that most developers have been living in previously. And so we put together this presentation to not just talk about those things, but also show examples of them to help designers and UX people and everybody else understand these are the places where companies tend to get stuck, and here's what you can do to solve those problems.
And so, for example, what are some of those type of issues that you run into?
Well, it's a lot of it. First of all, is you see companies that just kind of have legacy problems. So they have a successful site or application in the PC world, and they try to just port it or transfer it across to the mobile space. And so they'll keep the same kind of interaction flow that they had on their desktop stuff. They'll try to have it do the same tasks in the same priority order. And that stuff tends to break down in mobile because people use mobile in different ways. And it sounds really simple when you describe it, but it actually is fairly subtle. And you need to do a lot of rethinking about what your value is going to be for customers. What do you think they're trying to accomplish in mobile relative? What are they trying to do in desktop? And yes, mobile can be used in all settings. It's not like it's only used in buses, but the fact is it's used more likely in certain places than other places, and you have to take that into account. We see a lot of cryptic interface design. And so, for instance, buttons that people can't understand or terms that they don't know what they mean. And for kind of design simplicity reasons, most companies don't bother to put help functions into their mobile apps and their mobile websites. And as a result, we see users get confused very often and then not have any way to resolve that confusion. And so there's a tendency in the mobile world to say, let's design this thing to be absolutely beautiful, and then we'll work on the usability. And what you really probably need to do is make it usable first and then work on making it pretty afterwards. And so that's a change in design methodology. Another one that we see a lot is people running into fear on the part of mobile users. So for instance, there's this reputation that it's very, very hard to monetize on mobile, that people simply won't do it. And that's definitely true, but the question is why? The usual assumption is, well, people just don't want to do a purchase on mobile or something like that. What we're finding in the research with real users is that, in fact, there are certain specific concerns that they have that stop them, in a lot of cases, from purchasing or from entering personal information. And it's all around fears about security, fears about how is this developer going to use my information. In a lot of cases, the reassuring little disclosures that we provide on a PC website have been stripped out of the mobile version in order to save space. And guess what? Those things are there for a reason because the users expect to see them. And when you take them out, you actually make people more fearful. And that's what causes them to hesitate. And the scary thing about it is the places where they hesitate are right when they are about to buy. So just as you're about to get that conversion of the customer, they end up kind of running into a roadblock and saying, oh, I'm going to go do this on my PC, in which case they often never get around to doing it. And so by designing the right way, you can get people across those humps, you can overcome those fears, and actually get better results. And so we'll talk about that and give some examples of how you can avoid those problems.
All right, great. Well, that sounds good. Well, thanks for taking a few minutes to go over this overview, and we'll see you in Seattle in February.
You bet. I'm looking forward to it.
All
Thanks.
right. Thank you, Mike.